الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Zakah or zakat. So this is the third pillar of Islam. Third pillar of Islam. And then Hajj is the final pillar. So this is third pillar of Islam, zakat. And it literally means to purify, to do the cleaning. And we do clean our wealth with zakat. So we are purifying our wealth. It is also called sadaqah in general terms. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ. So the sadaqat here means zakah. It is obligation for people who fulfill the condition, and we discuss that. First Ramadan in the year second after Hijrah, year 2, second year after Hijrah, it became an obligation for believers. They fasted the same year and they also had this as an obligation. It was also obligatory for previous nations, like the people of Musa alayhi salam, people of Isa alayhi salam, even before that. But they had different proportions. How much do we need to pay? 2.5%. Some of them needed to pay 25%, and some in between. So ours is very easy. It has been mentioned 32 times with salah. Aqimu salah wa atu zakah. Aqimu salah wa atu, several times. So salah and zakah, they're mentioned together. This is how important it is. When we know salah is the central column of the building of Islam. So imagine the tent with a central column that keeps it upheld. And side columns are important as well, but this one is the core. So prayer is very, very important. Likewise, zakah is very important because it is with salah. If someone said, I don't believe in zakat, they would not be Muslim. They would leave Islam just by believing that. And if you do not pay your zakat, then you are sinful. So it's very important that we do pay our zakat. There's a hadith from Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, when this ayah was revealed from Surah Tawbah, وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ, it became a big thing that we are hoarding gold and silver and land. What do? And they became very upset. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, okay, let me just go and get it clarified from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this ayah, Sayyidina Umar said, Allah is the great. So let's just find out. And then the response from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said was that it is for those people who do not pay zakat from their gathered money. Whatever money you accumulated, if you pay zakat on that, then it is not kanz. Kanz, the treasure, is only treasure when you do not pay zakat on that. And then that would be coming to you on the day of judgment in a very, very difficult form, like this. Whoever is a wealthy person and he does not pay zakat, then on the day of judgment, this wealth would come to him like a bold-headed poisonous male snake who have 2 spots over the eyes, and this would encircle the man's neck and cheek and bite on him very hard. And it would say, I am your wealth, I am your treasure that you were holding and not paying zakat on. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then recited this ayah. So do not hold your zakat at all. This is a big sin. So this is command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not tax. Some people think, oh, we are just paying tax. That's not tax. Tax is normally not justified, and it is not encouraged in Islam. Obviously, sometimes you have to have it, but that's different matter. This is not a tax. This is to purify, and there is a right of poor people. So when you have that much wealth, then you must be paying to the Muslim and other people so that they can benefit from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And in their wealth there is a portion for the deprived and poor people, the beggars and destitutes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. Take from their wealth the zakat to purify their wealth, to give them a nice spiritual relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what it literally means, or what it religiously means, zakat, it means to take a portion of your wealth and make someone else who fulfills the condition to become malik. Tamlik means to make someone else malik of your wealth. A portion of your wealth, which is 2.5%, must be given to someone who fulfills the condition, and he becomes the owner now. You do not have any control over that money. You can't say, oh, it's my money, I've given it to you. What are you doing with that money? I can take it back. No, you can't take it back. This is not yours anymore. Once you have given it to someone else, it is his or hers. So making someone malik of that, it has to be the individual who is owner of that, becomes owner. So ownership is taken from you to that individual. You understand that? And that would be once you are in the state of nisab. I will come to that in a minute. So it is obligation for every Muslim who, number one, is sane, a Muslim who is sane, intellectually sound person, is responsible, means is baligh, not young, and he has nisab, the quantum. So what is nisab? We talk about that. A full year. And he hasn't got any debts. It's just all access to his basic needs. So for example, today you earn £5,000 from wherever it came, as a gift from someone, or you had you got inherited it from someone. So you found that you got this gold worth of £5,000 as a gift from someone. So today you have all the necessities and needs for food or whatever. You did that, paid all the debts, and you are now left with, say, £4,000. This is in excess of your basic needs. So this is, say, 6th of Ramadan today. So you must stay like this in that state for whole year. Next year, Ramadan, 6th of Ramadan, you will be paying 2.5% of that £4,000. That would be how much? 55 pounds? 105. It's 4. So 2.5 is it 100 pounds? 100 pounds. 100 pounds. You have 25 for each £1,000. So 100 pounds.
So what do what do you spend some of the money? Let's say they spend another 1,000.
That's fine. That's fine. No, so they have to only pay for the amount which is left on that 6th of Ramadan the next year. If it is 2,000 left, they would just do £50. If it is 3,000, £750. If it was 4,000 or 8,000 or 10,000, somebody came a day before, somebody came a couple of weeks, so it doesn't matter. On that day, whatever is with you in your account as excess money, you have to pay 2.5% of that.
With the debt you paid, the itself amount going in the.
Then no zakat on you. Then you're free bird.
Is it a sin to purposefully spend so much money?
It's not sin. You can spend as much as you like. You can do it. You don't have to be in the state of zakat.
But you know how you have Ramadan 6th. So but isn't there a loophole that you could just give the money to somebody else in Ramadan 5th and then kick it back?
So if someone does it, that's a big thing. If you deliberately do it, so some people do that, just a week before, I'm giving all my money as a gift to my wife or some cousin or some friend. And after 11 months, they would just give it back to me. This is mockery of Sharia. This is like the people of Saturday. Remember what they did? They were supposed to not fish on that day, but Saturday. So what did they do? They said, oh, we are not fishing on Saturday, but there's a lot of fish coming on Saturday. So what do? We put nets and make holes and dig the ditch by the sea, by the river bank. So they did it, put the net and everything on Friday evening before Maghrib. And they said, Saturday we're not doing anything. On Sunday we go and collect all that fish. They're trying to be clever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed their faces into monkeys. And they died within 3 days, all of them. That was a punishment because they were making mockery of Sharia. It's like when you're told not to do something and you just try to, circumvent it, try to be clever and dodge it. I didn't do that, but I just did this much. That's a corruption in the mind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them badly. So no, you can't do that. That is big sin. Good question. Again, remember, not every wealth has to be with you for a year. You should be in the state of holder of nisab. So if you are the sahibun nisab is a person who has above nisab threshold excess money for 12 months. Now, for example, you had it 4,000 today after, using whatever you needed to use, you're left with 4,000 pounds. Then what happened? A month later, you got another 1,000 used up. Couple of months later, another 1,000 used up. Another month, 2-3 months. So by December, you used up maybe another 1,000. You're left with 800 pounds, 700 pounds, which is below the nisab threshold. So now you cease to be sahibul nisab. But a month later or 2 months later, you got another 5,000 or 1,000. So you're now back to sahibul nisab status. But this is going to be your new date. So that Islamic date would be your new date. Say it was 5th of Rajab. So now 5th of Rajab, you became sahibul nisab again in excess. You got more than nisab money, which was 1,100 this year it is. So you got above that. So you are sahibul nisab. Next year, 5th of Rajab, you would check what is my situation. If you are above the status of nisab and you go 5, 7, 8, 10,000, you would pay zakat on each of those.
But you know the value of nisab is like fluid, so it's based on the value of gold. So let's say you have the money and then you have the same amount of money next year, but it becomes less than the current nisab. Would it be based on that year's nisab?
Very good. Every year's nisab. This year's nisab. So last year the nisab was about 600, 700. This year is very expensive. The silver and gold both has become very expensive here. It has become 1,100 now. And for gold, it is close to 10,000 pounds. This has the highest at the moment. Never been like this before. So those who have gold, they can sell it and become rich. They get more money for them. And that's why the zakat will be higher this year. So it is all depend on the nisab. So you have to check it every year. So it doesn't matter whether you had any fluctuations, anything came or gone in the year. The snapshot on that day, that is why you need to know the date of your anniversary of zakat. Everyone should know.
If you don't, then how?
Then you just work it out, guess it, check your account, check your. So normally for men, it is the payday, the first time they receive a good pay. If they were working, the first time they ever had a decent 2,000-3,000 pound or 1,000 pound plus, that would be the day that they became sahibul nisab. And then they have to carry on with the same date. Some people say, oh, we should be just doing it in Ramadan, no problem. Oh, we do it through the solar calendar. Mine is 5th of March. No, it doesn't work like that because after 30, 35 years, you have done 1 year less zakat. Because lunar calendar after 35 years roughly is 1 year extra. So you were supposed to be paying for 36 times zakat. You have done 35 times. So 1 year less. That insect would, or that snake would tell you in the grave, what have you done? So don't try to be clever there. Just use the proper, sensible way. Okay, fluctuation is not important as long as you do not go below the nisab threshold. If you went below the nisab threshold, then you cease to be sahibul nisab, and you're not sahibul nisab, no zakat on you. You would just become sahibul nisab again whenever you become a year's time, 5 years time, never 30 years time. That's when you become rich again.
So is this when the snapshot happens? So let's say you get the snapshot and then you go below So then, and let's say you get back the money, and then by the next year, you're still nisab, but you just had
a dip below the nisab. The day you become below nisab, then you're gone. So you would restart from when you become sahib nisab again, say in the next pay or next month. So once you go below the nisab threshold, that first one is cancelled. You're not sahib nisab anymore. Your status has been taken back. So now you become sahib nisab again when you come to that level. Yes? Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Now, it's everyone's responsibility. Whoever is baligh, mature, whoever owns the money, Muslim, sane person, it's your responsibility. You can't say, oh, my mom didn't do it on my behalf, or dad didn't do it, or mom said that, oh, my husband didn't pay, it's his problem. No, it's not his problem, it's your problem. It's individual responsibility. Everyone is supposed to pay their own zakat. Now, obviously, traditionally, most Muslim women do not work, so they don't have money. So they can request the husband, can you pay zakat on my behalf? He may or he may not. If he say no, then she has to then either sell her gold or give the gold ring for zakat. That could be zakat. Whatever is the value of zakat, she can pay it for that. But he may request, that's fine. It must be identified. You must know what is your zakat due this year. Roughly, I just estimated and then I've just given it. That's not right. Must work it out. You can't do it collectively. Let's just, me and my wife put our money together and then give zakat. No, separate. She has to do her, you have to do yours. Daughters, separate. Sons, separate. Everyone is individual. It's not a collective thing. If someone, God forbid, had interest-based money, like they've from bank, they put in the current account and they got some saving account. Sorry, they got some interest-based money. That money must be disposed of straight away. They don't have to pay zakat on it. Full of all of that. That must be. This is like a snake in your house. You must get it out of the system so that you do not get punished for that. So So the gold and silver. Some people only in Hanbali school, they consider the gold that someone wears, like the women that they personally use gold. They say, oh, this is, you don't have to pay zakat on that. But that's not the majority opinion, and it's a very difficult opinion to follow. So don't follow that. Stick to the Hanafi position, which is every gold that you have to pay zakat on that if it is above the threshold. We come to nisab in a minute. Diamond and stone and other, precious stones, gems, you don't have to pay zakat on that. That's separate. That's not counted. If you have some item that has some gold and something else, gold-plated rings, for example, or watches, it's haram for men to wear anything that has gold in it. They're only allowed silver, only 4 grams, very small silver. So if they've got anything on top of that, they're sinful. But if the women have it, and if there's more gold than the other metal, then it will be counted as gold. They would be paying zakat on that to the value. Say again? Gold tooth? No, you can't have gold tooth either.
I've got a question. You know how you said that you would have to pay zakat on that item? Would that zakat be on? Because let's say you can't, there's more gold, but you can't exactly measure out how much gold there is compared to. Do you have to pay zakat on the whole entire weight of the whole item?
Not on the weight, on the if it is more than 50% gold in it, then that will be counted as gold as a whole. So if you pay for whole of it.
Equal to the rate, you would have to pay zakat on that.
Maybe you might need to pay zakat on that as well. If it's too much gold, you're hiding in your teeth. Someone will come and rob it. Don't.
And so, why would someone rob your tooth?
It's made of gold. Okay, so nisab. So nisab is, or the owner of the nisab is a person who has that minimum amount of assets. That could be gold or silver or piece of land or cash above the threshold. And threshold would be either 20 mithqal of gold or 200 dirhams of silver. That's the Islamic terms used So the measure would be equal to 87.48 grams of gold and 612.36 grams of silver. So that's the stuff in grams. Now remember, if someone has just gold, no cash, no silver, then only they are allowed to use gold nisab. Anyone who has gold plus even 1 pound, they have to use silver nisab. Silver nisab is way low than the gold nisab. So the gold nisab is about 10,000 pounds. Meaning, if you have 10,000 pound worth of gold, then you have to pay zakat. Below that, 9,000, 8,000 pound worth of gold, which is below, in tola, we call it sade saat tolas, 7.5 tolas. If it's below that, 7 tolas or whatever, then you don't have to pay that. This is this year's. You don't have to pay zakat on that. But most people have some pounds with that, some extra cash with that, a piece of land or something else, or silver. Then they have to pay zakat on the silver nisab. Silver nisab is only 1,100 this year, between 10 and 1,200, so I average it out. So this is about that much. So 1,100 pound in excess. Anyone who has 1,100 pound worth of gold or silver. So if you have, just a ring, a gold ring, which is about say 800 pound, and then you've got 300 pounds sitting on top of that as a cash, so it becomes 1,100. Then you have to pay zakat because then you have to make it into silver nisab, not the gold one anymore. Even the item was made of gold. You understand that? So you had 1,100 plus 113 pound cash sitting with you. So you become Saibul Nisab.
But if your item had both gold, it's made of both gold and silver, would you and it's like 50-50, then would you consider it as fully gold or fully silver?
Silver. As long as there is silver in it, if you have any savings which is other than gold.
Not for the nisab, I'm talking about like the weight. Like, do you know how you have to measure the weight?
Oh yeah, yes.
It's worth. Would you see the whole entire thing as gold, or would you see the whole entire thing as
Also, if you have 50-50 and you know for sure what it is, then you just calculate exactly. If it's 50%, so you knew if it was 55% gold and 45% was like, not even silver, something, whatever, then you can work it out that way and pay only for that. But if you don't know in that case, but you know more than then you have to take it as gold, just to be on the safe side.
Gold is more expensive than silver, but sometimes it has happened that silver is more expensive.
It's very, very rare. It happens like once in a million years. It's not a common thing.
If silver is more cheaper than the Saudi silver, if gold is ever more cheaper than the Saudi gold.
It could happen in those days, but again, as I said, it would never happen. Perhaps there was a potentially once it happened, but normal. That's not the normal thing. So sometimes people have enough wealth that they have to pay zakat on that. Sometimes they have wealth, but they are exempted from paying zakat. That's the only one situation, which is where they did not have enough cash, gold or silver, but they have a piece of land, which they intend to keep for themselves, or it's just sitting there. So if they sold it, they would be Saibul Nisab. But at the moment, they're not selling it. They're living maybe on a portion of that. But that extra piece of land, which is not being utilized at the moment, so there could be a very small possibility that certain people might not be allowed to get any zakat, even if they're not Sahibul Nisab. Normally, the person who does not pay zakat, he can take zakat, provided there's no contraindication. I will come to that in a minute. The combined value of zakatable wealth is below Nisab, yet he or she owns a piece of land with no intention of selling. That's sitting there, no intention of selling at the moment. In future, I don't know, but at the moment, so you don't have to pay zakat on that piece of land. Yet you can't take the zakat either, because if you sold it, you'll be rich again.
So if you during the fight, so you're like, should I send it, should I not send it?
Even then, you count it as you don't have to pay zakat on that. So as long as it is a true, confusion or no clarity. If you're just doing it for zakat, then there's a problem. For example, Zaid has a value, and you have valued your zakatable asset to be 5,000 pounds. We've just done that. You owe 4,900 pounds to his brother, and no money owing to him. So zakatable assets are 5,000 minus 4,900, only 100 pounds. As it is below the nisab threshold, Zaid does not need to pay any zakat. So he is happy when Zaida had valued her zakat to be about £3,000 on zakat anniversary. She owes 1,000 to various people, so she had done that. But she also owed 3,000 by a friend, meaning they were coming to her. So her zakatable asset was therefore 3,000 plus 3,000 minus 1,000, so altogether 5,000. So she would have to pay £125 on that. Okay, so you have to just deduct whatever is loan, and you have to keep whatever is with you. And once you've done that, then you pay 2.5% of all of that. Is that clear? It's very easy, I hope. Who can take zakat? Who you should be able to dispense your zakat to? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned 8 categories. إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ Fuqara are the poor people. Those who do not have any, they have some, but below the quantum, below the nisab. Masakin, they do not have any money at all. They're very poor. The people, the slaves, the working, and then they want to make money to free their neck, riqab. They can be paid zakat and help with zakat. Those who are in debt, a lot of debt, they have to pay, they can pay zakat for that. A soldier or a pilgrim, he's cut off, so he's like in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He hasn't got any access to his account, although he had money back home, but at the moment he's likewise a traveler. So they can be given as well, a traveler. And Amil. Amil is a person, is a zakat collector from the government. In Baitul Mal, so Islamic State, they have appointed someone to go and collect zakat. So their fees can be paid from the zakat. Now, many organizations in the current time, they work in such a way that they consider themselves to be Amil of zakat and take some money when they, collected a lot of money from people. They say, we have done all the, what's it called? The hard work and charity work, and we got admin fee or whatever. So this cannot be paid from zakat. They are not amil of zakat. Because amil of zakat, amil, the zakat collector, is appointed by the government. When it is appointed by the Islamic State, this amil, this person who is responsible to collect zakat, he is actually working on behalf of government. He's working on behalf of government. So he is your wakil, your solicitor. He is working for you. He is your, representative. So you're being the poor people. So what he is doing, this amil is appointed by who? By the government. Government is responsible to get the zakat from rich people to poor people. So the government is the agent to collect zakat on behalf of poor people. You understand that? So this money, which the zakat money that the person would collect, he is doing to favor who? Poor people. So the poor people agreed in Islamic State by default, whether they said it or not, it is automatic. So these poor people who want to get their money from zakat, who are eligible for that, their representative is this amil. So hence this amil is collecting zakat, and the Baitul Mal would pay zakat from zakat, this person's pay as well. All his pay expenses will be met by the zakat because that is their representative. In the current time, the charity organizations are not state-owned charity organizations. They are individual. We have our charity as well, Barakat Charity. So we are not appointed by government. We are representative of poor people. No, we are not representative of people. No people, poor people have advised us that you take zakat on our behalf. We are representative of rich people. Flip side, the opposite. So we are representative of you people who are giving zakat. So please take the zakat and dispose of to the people who are eligible for it. You, charity organization, find out the poor people and dispense our zakat so that we are discharged of this responsibility. You understand that? So we as a charity are representative of rich people. Now, I am working for you. You can pay me separately if you wanted to, or I can take something from you. But I cannot from this zakat take any money because it is not your money anymore. You have given it to me. It belongs to poor people. So imagine we have Zaid and Bakr. So Bakr is poor man. Zaid is a rich man. Zaid says that, I need to dispense my money to the poor person, Bakr. So Bakr saying that I want money because I need to have my children fed properly. So I'm looking for some zakat. So I, as an agent, I say to Zakat Islamic State, I would say to Bakr, don't you worry, I will collect zakat and that will come to Baitul Mal and I will be able to pay it back to you. Now, since I'm working for him, this money that I'm working for and doing all the hard work, government would say, take it from his money because I'm doing his service. Who am I serving? Bakr. Is Bakr rich or poor? Poor. So I'm working for him. So he is going to be owner of that money after I have collected it. So I can take from his money, which is this zakat money, and take my salary after government approval. Now, the charity is, Zaid said that I want some help. I can't find any poor people. I don't have time for that. I'm busy. So I need someone to help me with this. So he came to me and said, oh, charity organization, can you help us? We don't have any Islamic State organization. We don't have any Islamic State here. So what do we do? So I said, don't worry, we have got charity. Okay, yes, take my zakat and find the poor people. Okay, I take your money and I'm now finding Bakr. Where are Bakr's hiding? So I found Bakr and gave it to him. This money that I took is from you for Bakr. And I'm not responsible for this. So Bakr never asked me because it was not the Islamic State guided thing. Islamic State cares for the poor people. Charities are not responsible for the care of poor people. You understand? Hence, the charity organization cannot take any money to fulfill their basic needs from zakat. Although some people have taken that, they say we're not becoming amilin. Now they realize the ulama are not letting it happen, so they have come up with a different idea. They say, no, we are not amil, that's why we can't take it. That's fine, we agree with that. But there's another concept, which is fi sabilillah. This is in the path of Allah. Collecting zakat as a charity is the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's just take no. And that's wrong as well. Fi sabilillah literally means only in the battlefield for mujahideen, if they're poor. So obviously you would find certain people, certain organizations, and certain people who would allow that, but that's not the dominant opinion, and it is very dangerous opinion to follow.
How do we pay zakat? Who do we pay?
So you identify the individual. You find out someone in the family, a companion came, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I've got poor family members. If I pay zakat to them, would my zakat be considered done? He felt that I'm just being like, more doing favor to my own family, my extended family, my cousins, brothers. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you would get double reward. One is paying off your zakat and also helping your relative. Double reward. Find someone in the family and pay it to them. Go and find someone poor if you know someone. Don't just willy-nilly put it in any charity, organization, unless you trust them and you know them. If you know the charity, you know me, you know my charity, you know him, his charity, her charity, that's fine. If you don't know, then don't go there.
But what if you don't know any poor people? You don't have any poor people in your area. Let's say you live in a fortunate area and you
identify some decent ulama and some decent charity who you trust, and you're sure that they would definitely not keep anything for them. Their reputation is such, or you know them, or if you don't know, you know someone who knows someone. So if you don't trust that charity, you don't know, never came across this charity, but you know this person who's your friend or cousin or someone, he said that I can vouch for them. I know they're good. They will never betray the trust. Then yes.
So what about when brothers and sisters? How close are you?
Anyone. Two brothers and sisters, you can give them as well. The only people who you can't give, I show you. Come in. Who you can't give? Any Hashimi. Hashimi is the descendant of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyone from the lineage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can't pay to them. Non-Muslim, you can't pay zakat. They'll say, oh, you're not giving non-Muslim anything. No, you can give them other charity, not zakat, but fi sabilillah, extra, and try to help. Remember, how much are you paying for your zakat? From excess, 2.5%. What is left with you? 97.5% is still with you. Only 2.5% is going to poor people. 95.5% is still with you, and that is the excess money. What are you doing with that? Give some to poor people, non-Muslims as well as other people, inshallah. A wealthy person, obviously, you can't give it to you. You cannot pay zakat to your children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents. Okay? Ascendants or descendants. You can't give any of them. You can't pay your spouse, husband to wife vouchers by keep playing with the money. You can't do that. Someone who passed away, you can't pay for their shroud. That is responsibility of community, so they must be doing it. Shroud is the kafan. When they wrapped in the sheet and then put in the grave. Likewise, you can't pay the debt from zakat. Okay? The debt of the dead person, deceased person. Okay. So everything you would have to pay zakat on. Trade, again, you have to pay zakat on that as well. But there's certain rules and regulations that one needs to be aware of if you're doing business. But there are certain different types of trade. We just leave that because that is going to bore you a lot. So any question on this?
You know, the descendant of the Prophet
Sallallahu
all you like to do the zakat of them.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this wealth that we get zakat from. So the zakat money is actually a dirt of that wealth to purify it. How do you purify something? You take the dirt away from it. You squeeze the dirt out. You wash it. So this money is getting washed through zakat. That is a dirty money in that sense. For the noble lineage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For other than Prophet's lineage, it's okay. We are all allowed to have that much dirt because we're not as pure. Like in terms of nobility. And this is all spiritual or ritual, as opposed to physically, we are all same. Physically, a Muslim and non-Muslim, they are both pure. If a non-Muslim touches your food, does it become impure? No. No. So again? No. A non-Muslim's food. If a non-Muslim drinks from your cup, can you drink from the same place? Yes, no problem. Their saliva is pure, their body is pure. Obviously, if they have got something in their hand which is unclean, then that doesn't matter whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, you have to wash that. That's a different thing. But a human body is pure, Muslim or non-Muslim alike. But what make them najas, what make them impure is their shirk or their kufr, spiritually or ritually. That is why, ideally, they shouldn't be entering or touching Quran. They shouldn't be coming to the masjid before they've taken shower. So that because it's not their physical impurity, it is their ritual impurity that doesn't go away when they become Muslim.
Let's say it's kind of alcohol, so you want to like digest it, isn't it? Like, let's say some alcohol is left with saliva instead.
Yeah, if he has got something in his mouth, obviously, then that is fine. Then he won't drink. That is nothing to do with his body, but it is to do with what he is drinking or eating.
for the gold, obviously, because gold which is maybe about gold for government and building. And you might have the gold as for investment. My question is around because some golds are like 24 karat, 20 karat. So you make them get their price for what they are.
What is the current price? Current value. Whatever is the current value. Exactly. Exactly. And that would differ, obviously.
That takes me to second question. Earlier we mentioned that if something is got a mixture of metal, then
more than 50%.
But we still take its market value rather than taking it whole as a whole.
Yeah. You know, it is when you don't know. When you don't know the percentage, then they just consider it as gold. When we know it, then we know. Yes.
Also mix of different types of gold.
They're,
We don't know like the exact value of the gold because
they're different carats of gold. Like, you know, they have slight different. And anyway, whatever is gold, gold is gold. Or each carat is considered a gold, obviously the value.
value do you consider it?
No, so it's not about so it would be not the value. It would be you remember the gold value. The gold value